What are vintage lenses? What exactly make them vintage? And why have so many people been using them for so long? Hey everyone, if you don't know me, my name is Julien. I'm a cinematographer based in the New York City area. I'm also a photographer and a director. And after my love for the image, I really do enjoy gear. I enjoy experimenting with equipment, and specifically, I really enjoy lenses, and I love vintage lenses. When I first got started with photography, I didn't have the finances to buy the lenses that I wanted. I learned about vintage lenses, and I actually was drawn towards vintage lenses first because of their affordability. I bought a Canon FD 50mm f1.8 over a decade ago and used it for photography. So let's go over the basics. Why would anybody want to use a vintage lens? Well, vintage lenses are generally not as sharp as modern lenses. They have less contrast, they have less control. They might breathe more, they might flare more. And if you're new to this, you might be asking yourself, why in the world would I want any of that? Aren't I supposed to want the sharpest image possible? Well, let me tell you a quick story unrelated to filmmaking and see if it helps explain. One evening while getting away for the weekend, my wife and I found ourselves somewhere on the coast of Maine or Massachusetts. I can't remember exactly where. But we were walking through the town after dinner with no agenda whatsoever, and we stumbled upon a vintage record shop. You don't see these every day, so I just walked right in. And it took me about a minute of processing, but I eventually heard what I had been hearing since I walked in. I heard this music. I walk over to the corner of the shop, and I'm sort of in awe by what I'm physically hearing. And it's this record player with speaker wire strung between two sides of the shop with big waist-high cabinets, speakers. And I'm listening to this music, and it's like nothing I've ever heard before. I haven't heard this in a long time. And it wasn't the actual genre of the music or the song, but it was actually the quality of what I was hearing. And I said, Kelly, my wife, I said, Kelly, come listen to this. This is what a record sounds like. This is what old speaker wire and old speakers sounds like. And there was a little bit of crackling in the recording, and it was incredibly warm, incredibly rich, and it was immersive. And that's kind of like vintage lenses. There's crackling, there's flaring, there's less contrast, there are issues, there are imperfections, but those are the exact things that draw us to using them. One bit of backstory, I never shot motion picture film, but from what I understand, when people did, film was not as sharp as the digital sensors of today. And so the RE Master Primes specifically, those were really sharp lenses designed to sharpen up film. Film looked good, it looked great, but it was soft, it wasn't as sharp, and when you threw sharp lenses on film, it was this wow factor. It's kind of the opposite now. Digital sensors are so sharp, lenses are so sharp, that a lot of people, myself included, have been trying to dumb down that digital sensor by putting vintage lenses in front of them. And what happens is there's less contrast, things are not as sharp, things feel more organic, there's bloom coming in from highlights, and there's flares. And all of those things, hopefully, at least I believe, maybe I'm getting too romantic, but a lot of people feel this, is that there's an emotion when you feel that. You know, there's an emotion when you see that. There's something about that image that draws you to it. You're looking at the halation, the lack of perfection somewhere in that image that makes you enjoy it. So again, for those that don't have any experience with vintage lenses, I hope that little background gives you some more information as to why people are drawn towards vintage lenses. In this series of videos, I hope to give you some insight into what it's looked like to buy and sell vintage lenses for over a decade, some really under the radar sleeper sets that you might be able to build or pick up for yourself. I want to talk about the Leica R set currently that I have and give you guys some more information. Try to give you guys some hands-on experience through video into those lenses specifically. Finally, I want to compare some lenses and just publish those findings online. So actually, in the very next video, I'm going to be comparing the Sony 35mm f1.4 G Master with the Leica R 35 1.4. And I'm personally really excited to see the results and publish them here online for all you guys to see. So let me get cracking to making that video, and I'll see you there.